Hi, before we're gonna share the experience that my client, Ricky Ricardo, and actually Rick was generous enough to show me the full face, but I'm gonna show the audience what he looked like before, and then Rick will share his experience to the audience that he looked like, okay? There we go. So this is where he was before. He's losing his hair, mostly in the frontal area, but toward the back as well. And you can see how much different he looks. He framed the face better, and he looks younger and more handsome. And it bring out his eyes and nose and all the features that God created. And you see, he brought in the temple and all the stuff, and lower, not just lower the hairline, but bring in the temple as well. And look at that. That's before and a year later. Before and a year later. So that was Rick before. Okay, my Ricky Ricardo. Go ahead. The stage is all yours. And go ahead, share the experience, how you found my clinic and why you chose it. Okay.
Sure bet. So a few years back, I was at work and I was talking to a colleague of mine, and I was complaining about the fact that I was aging and that I was losing some confidence because I was losing my hair. And that was a big problem for me. And I trusted this person as a personal friend. And so I was a little surprised that his response was that I should consider hair transplant because he went through it himself. And I had never known anyone in my life that had had a hair transplant. And so that got me curious to say, hey, maybe I can do something about this, and maybe I can change, where I was in terms of where I was looking to be. And so I started researching, trying to find the best hair transplant doctor that I could find in the world. And so I had told you earlier, I had my friend that recommended Thailand to go and see a specific doctor. But I decided to not just look in Thailand. I wanted to make sure I was really picking someone with credibility, with proven results.
It's not just about price.
It wasn't about price.
Yeah.
It was about finding the right doctor. And so honestly, that took me, doctor, about 3 years to do. It literally took me 3 years because I wasn't rushing into it. I really wanted it to be right. And I wanted it to be where I met the doctor that would do this, could show me the proof that whatever it is they're trying to sell is what I'm going to get. Because oftentimes what I've heard in the past is you go into these things and you really don't get what you want coming out, right? You're not getting the result at the end. But I'm a testament, I'll say right now, I'm delighted the work that your team and that you specifically did. It's amazing art, it's amazing science. You've cracked the code. I'm not getting paid for this, but I want to share my happiness. I'm very grateful, but I had a long journey. I really been wanting to get ahead in my life, and a lot of getting ahead is confidence. It's believing in yourself. And honestly, I was losing that. So for you to come in and for us to work together, I really felt like you gave me more of my life back. It's making a big difference for me from a, just an excitement level, from a energy level, from I want to go outside more often now. I don't have to wear my hat anymore. It's just amazing, the results. And I can just assure you, based on what I've seen from other procedures, from other places, the results are light and day. And I made the right decision. And so, these are some of the reasons why I'm very grateful of, picking you for the work. It worked out very well for me.
Can you share the experience about what's the surgery day look like? When do you notice the hair start growing out, and so the audience will know that?
Well, the surgery date was great. Honestly, I thought it was going to hurt, or I thought it was going to be painful, or it was going to be very tedious, and I was really afraid, to be honest with you.
Okay.
But I came in a little earlier that morning. I sat there. Your team was very cordial. They asked if I was comfortable. They asked if I needed a drink or eat anything. You guys really took care of me. And honestly, there was no pain, which was shocking to me. Because I had thought, well, if you're going to put thousands of, hairs replanted on my head, I'm going to feel something. Well, I will just say right now, I felt nothing. Zero. And that was an amazing experience for me to come in and for you to do all that work. So honestly, I just felt like it was just so simple. It was simpler than I could have ever imagined. Now, the results for me, I really loved. I would say that for me personally, I felt like I was getting results literally, no more than a couple of months afterwards. I knew the hair was coming back actually within that month because you could just see it. But literally within 2 months, there was no doubt that there was a lot of hair that was starting to really start to come out, a little finer, but those fine hairs eventually got darker and darker and just blew up and made what we have today. And so from an experience standpoint, the fact that, you said what you were gonna do, it was seamless. I came in on a day that I had off, in by 8, out by 5. It was simple. I was probably out sooner than that.
Yeah.
But that was a great experience. It was a simplified experience. It was a pain-free experience. It was great.
Yeah. You mentioned something about people kind of notice the difference in your look. But yeah, can you share that?
Yeah. I'm actually really pleased about it. But, when I meet with people from time to time that I haven't seen for at least 6 months, maybe even a year since before the transplant, it's a lot of fun because people look at you right away and they start asking you, well, did you lose weight? Did you, are you on a new diet? Did you
Facelift?
did you get a facelift? They know something's different because they say you look younger, you look fresher, especially you look fresher.
All right.
And, that's actually really affected me very positively because now it's this perception, not just that I didn't change myself, but even people are perceiving me differently.
Right.
And the success, and one of the main reasons why I'm excited about that is because even with my new hair, I've even changed careers. Right. Because now I moved into sales, which obviously, candidly, in sales, you gotta have high motivation, you have to have the high confidence. Sometimes you also have to look good. Your hair needs to look nice. You gotta look the look, right?
Right.
And so it also allowed me, doctor, to be confident enough to take on that new career ambition. I'd taken the bull by the horns, and now I'm a better person. I don't just have more hair, but it has really affected my life for the better, and that's why I'm delighted. It's helped my career, it's helped me personally, and I'm very pleased with the results.
Yeah, and then you mentioned the story about you hang around with your younger colleague or work and those stuff, and can you share that a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, I'm in high tech, and so in high tech, you're going to get a lot of college interns coming in, a lot of younger workforce. Well, you get to my age, and I'm starting to get up into my 40s, close to my 50s, and things change a bit. And so, being someone that was losing hair, and I always felt out of place a bit because I didn't have that look, that Java that the other guys had that were moving upward into the company. And candidly, looks do make a big difference. And I hate to say that, but perception is reality. And so, candidly, I just don't feel like that's a factor anymore. I mean, with the new hair that I have, and I feel like the rest of these guys, when I walk into the office, they got their curls hanging down. Well, guess what? I do too. And people may not think there's a big difference in that, but there's a massive difference. And I know for a fact that it's helped my career tremendously. And therefore, for me, it may have, like you said earlier, been, some people will say, well, price is a factor. Yes, it is, but I can guarantee you that with the results, they're amazing and it's well worth the value. Well worth the value. There was no negative experience. I got exactly what you said I was going to get, and that's why I'm delighted.
Yeah, and I appreciate Rick. And I'm pretty sure your colleague mentioned you, Ricky Ricardo, huh? But it's just, and again, I thank Rick for actually shared experience for the audience to understand what he went through and how his hair has affected him, and more in a positive way. And then we go from there. Okay? Thank you.